Good morning. I'm just going to show you a quick little easy breakfast that we're going to make using our waffle puff pan that I showed y'all earlier in a post. But this is a cool little pan. There's lots of different things you can do. You can make your own waffles using your pancake waffle batter. You can make all kinds of different things, but I'm going to make some cinnamon rolls this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and get it heating up while I get my stuff ready. So I have just used a normal can of, you can use the cinnamon rolls, but I like to use the crescent rolls. So I don't tear them apart, I just unroll them and keep them together. Oops, before I do that, let me spray my cutting mat real quick so that it doesn't stick as much. And this is our kitchen spritzer so that you don't have all those extra chemicals in there. It's just the pure oil. So I'm just going to roll out my crescent roll dough. And if it kind of starts separating a little bit while you're, you just pinch it back together a little bit because you want to keep it all in one nice rectangle. Now I'm just going to take our little mini scraper here with, I have one daughter that can't have dairy, so this is a special butter that she can have, and the crescent rolls don't have any dairy in them. So I'll have to read all the labels. So I'm just going to spread a little bit of butter on here, and it's, I guess, technically not butter because it's what she can have, but we just spread that a little bit, and then all we do is I'll just sprinkle with cinnamon sugar mixture. And if you like more cinnamon, you can just add more cinnamon without the sugar to it. But today, just I'm gonna do that, and I'm usually pretty liberal with my sprinkling here. And then you're gonna take it from the short side and you're just gonna roll it right back up. Okay, so now we have that. And I'm going to take one of our knives, and the easiest way to cut this into even pieces is you can still see the seam in the middle from where it would normally be when you separate it. So you're going to cut that in the middle. So you now have two even rolls, and so now you're going to take and cut that one in half. And so now you cut each one of those in half. So that's the easy way. Instead of starting on one end, just start and cut it in halves. Now that our waffle pan is probably hot enough, I'm going to spritz that with just a little bit of oil. On both sides, and that's getting hot. So you can spread them out. I've done the most is 3 in one. So all we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take them and lay them down in there. And just spread them out so they're not on top of each other. So I just do 3 like in a triangle. And then you're going to just press and close out, and you're just going to press it down. Squeeze it a little tight, and I go ahead and flip it over. And then this is an old timer that I've had for many years. It's Pampered Chef. And I'm just going to start the timer for like 1.5 minutes on each side. All ovens are a little differently, or stoves are a little bit different. So just gauge. You don't want to go too long because the cinnamon does tend to burn on there. So while that is heating up, I'm going to take one of our little bowls here, 1 cup prep bowls, and I'm running low on powdered sugar because we've been making a lot of whipped cream lately. So I'm just going to make my little drizzle to go on it. I add a little bit of vanilla, and I have my little almond milk since I have the one that can't have dairy. And since I'm running low on powdered sugar, and you never want to put too much milk in there. And then I stir it really good, and then if I need to add a couple more drops of milk, I'll add a couple of more little drops of my almond milk. And then now I've got my drizzle ready. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. and this is almost to a minute and a half. Timer will go off in a second, and I'll flip it over. But this pan is great. You can make little sandwiches. You just put bread on there. You can do grilled cheese. You can do it like a hot panini, but it makes little bubbles in it. You can make crepes. You can make savory pancakes and waffles, and there's my timer. So I'm just going to start the timer over again real quick and flip it over to the other side, because only the bottom side is getting the heat, or getting the majority of the heat. So, and if you want to take a peek, ooh, those spread out really good. So I'm just going to let those set, and we might need to do a few more minutes. You just always gauge and see what it needs, but those spread out a little more. The ones I did the other day didn't spread out as much, so it just depends. So like baking is not a exact science, so you just kind of go with the flow for that. So, but while we're also sitting there, I'll show you again. This is our kitchen spritzer. This is awesome. You just fill it with oil. I have two different ones because we do olive oil in one and then just like a canola oil or vegetable oil in the other one. And it's just pure oil, and you just pump it, and it's pumping the air in there to make it an aerosol. So I've always loved that. I've used our large flexible cutting mats. These are great, easy to cut on. They're flexible, so you can scoop stuff down after you chop it and scoop it into the pan. These coated knives are awesome. I love them. They cut very smooth and are very sharp. But and I got this out. I didn't have to use this today, but this is like our little baker's roller. This is great if you ever need to just, you can roll out like pie dough and crust, but if you just ever need to, there's a few recipes I use where I'm using a different type of, there goes my timer, so let me check this real quick. And it's not quite as brown as I want, so I'm going to flip that side back to the other. I'm going to check this side one more time. That side looks good. I'm going to leave that for a few more minutes on that, or not a few minutes, but about probably 30 more seconds on that side, and then we'll take it off. And let me get a plate real quick. One thing I forgot to get was a plate out, so I'll get a plate out so I can show y'all that in a second. The pan comes with this cute little fork. It's just a little plastic fork so that you can peel stuff off so that you don't scrape the pan with anything metal. But anyway, back to the roller. This is a good little roller. There's a few little recipes I've done several years ago that you're using store-bought dough, like the French dough or something, and you've got to spread it out. So this is perfect for doing that. You can use the big end or the little end, or if you need to like make a little well in something, you know, some dough and have it come up on the sides, that's perfect for that. So anyway, let me check this real quick. And because I did 3, and these spread out a little more than normal. Oops, I'm just going to pull one out real quick just to kind of show you. There's our little cinnamon roll. And I let it sit for a few minutes just to kind of get a little bit, actually I'm going to put it back in, but I just want to show you this side looks better. I'm going to put it back on the other side for a little bit. I let it cool off for just a few minutes before I put the icing on so that the icing doesn't get to melt and just like run all over the place. But anyway, this is what it looks like. I let it cool off a little bit, and it kind of gets a little crispy on the edges. I made these the other day, and my 16-year-old loved these. We love these better than the regular cinnamon rolls that you do in the oven, and you're not heating up the entire house by doing that. So anyway, a cute little fun breakfast for y'all. Thanks. Bye.